Hi everyone, today I am joined with my nephew Kai Shah. Kai is a team coach for GBG Knights, which is Gloucestershire Powerchair football team. Kai, how you doing?
Good, thank you. You?
Yeah, not too bad. I'm really excited to do this podcast with you.
Yeah,
So let's kick this off, Kai. So let's talk about your role as a coach for GB Knights team. What's all
yeah.
that?
So Goals Beyond Grass Knights. It's a power chair football team. If you haven't seen it, Google it. It's basically ruled in electric wheelchairs, specially adapted electric wheelchairs, and we play football on a basketball-sized court, four-a-side. Yeah.
Fantastic. So let's touch on your disability
Yep.
in terms of, do you want to explain what your
So I've
disability is?
got congenital muscular dystrophy.
What does the congenital bit mean?
Both parents have to have the gene to then give it to the kid.
So the congenital, it's from birth.
Yes. That's what it means.
Yeah. So you have muscular dystrophy, but you're obviously born
Yeah.
with it.
Yeah.
For people who don't know what muscular dystrophy is, what is it?
So it's a muscle wasting condition. Basically, well, for me on my one, it's the your muscles get protein to get stronger.
Yep.
Mine, I don't produce that protein.
Okay. And in terms of your condition, how rare is it? In terms of CMD, the congenital muscular dystrophy.
It is one of the rarer muscular dystrophies, I believe.
Yeah.
Because it has to have both parents as well. That both have to have the gene. It is a lot rarer than some of the other ones.
Okay. And in terms of your disability, in your opinion, how does it limit you?
I mean, obviously, I'm a full-time electric wheelchair user. I have a nocturnal BiPAP. I'm page fed through my head for that, which is like the feeds through the pump.
So this is where you have a tube directly inserted
directly into my
your
stomach.
stomach, and that allows you to be fed with liquids.
Yeah, liquids and nutrition and water and all of the good stuff.
Yep.
Maybe some alcohol here and there, who knows? And then I've got like really bad scoliosis. So
Sorry, what's that? Sorry, what's that? I don't know.
Scoliosis is curvature of the spine.
Okay, the curving of the spine.
Yeah, so mine's like it was about 60-degree curve when I was like 10. So it's probably a lot worse now. But nothing they can do for that one. And then obviously that's caused my right lung to be a bit squished. So I've got asthma as well.
Okay. And in terms of hospital visits, how many have you done?
Yeah.
If
Recently, thankfully not that many, but when I was a kid.
Touch wood, that's brilliant.
Yeah, when I was a kid, loads. I think my longest hospital stay is, I want to say a month. Might be longer.
Was that at Great Ormond Street?
That was at the Royal Brompton, I believe.
Okay.
I was between the two hospitals.
And what was that like when you were in hospital for a long time? Kind of a long period.
To be honest, I don't remember that because I was 2.
Oh, that was that young. But what about when you
started?
What about when you started school and you were having hospital trips in terms of homework, keeping up with schoolwork? How did you manage that?
Yeah, I don't actually know how I ever did because I'm lazy. Everyone that knows me knows I'm very lazy.
So you're a typical. So hang on, you're a typical boy who chooses sports over academics, right?
Oh yeah. So like I would always do my homework the night before, in the morning of, and yeah, I missed quite a lot of school, so I don't know how I ever kept up, but I did.
And what kind of school did you go to? Did you go to a special school or did you go to a normal school?
No, I went mainstream for primary and secondary.
What was the name of the school?
So primary was Ladbrokes,
which is in Potter's Bar.
Which is in Potter's Bar. Secondary was Bushy Meads, which is in Bushy.
Okay, and how did you find the school? Was it good?
Well, I mean, primary school, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
always fun.
I'm talking about Bushy
So,
Mead. How did you find that in terms
uh,
of kind of friends?
yeah, that part I found the school was fine. The only part I hated was the travel because obviously in the rush hour times it was about a 40-minute to an hour drive there and then an hour drive back.
Yeah. Let's talk about travel. I mean, you've got an adapted vehicle that your parents use to kind of take you around for your football matches and stuff, which we'll
Yeah.
discuss later. And you've just recently bought a car yourself, a very flash one, might I add, which costs a lot of money. And you're learning how to drive. Tell me about
Yeah.
the car you've just bought.
So it's a VW Transporter, funded through the Motability Scheme, and it's specially adapted for me to drive. So it's got two little joysticks on, one to go for your gas and brake, one for your steering. Um,
I mean, that's a huge car. Why do you need such a huge car?
so, like I said earlier, I've got a specially adapted football chair, and then I've also got my day chair. So I need to be able to fit the two chairs in. And there's all these new safety laws
Yep, yep.
that I
What did
need
the
to get.
car? What did
I
the
need
car cost you?
me nothing.
Well, you know what I mean. How much is
The,
the car
the
worth?
Motability Scheme.
Yeah,
I think in total, with all the adaptations, they had to pay about 150 grand.
£150,000.
Yeah,
Wow.
the adaptations are worth more than the car.
Wow. And in terms of learning how to drive, how difficult is that for you at the moment to get an instructor?
It took, to be fair play to them. It took them, I think, about 3 months to
Yep.
find someone. But once I found him, it's been great instructing me.
Yeah.
Um, yeah,
Good.
but
And
they did say their average time was between 3 to 6 months, so they got it within the three. Right.
fantastic. And in terms of at home, if you get an itchy nose, who's the person you turn to?
Probably mum.
So speaking of mum, I think it's kind of good for you to share um, kind of anything in terms of family. In your family, who's always been there for you?
Mum, dad, and my sister definitely.
What's just
Um,
come and name them.
right. Well, dad, Himesh, mum, Sonia, sister, Corinne, um, and then my cousin Kian, who has dragged me to football as well for the last few years. Um, Nanny and Nana, Daddy and Dada, one of them from when I was a little kid. Pretty sure I used to come and stay around some people's houses when I was a baby. um,
So
yeah, yeah,
So, in terms of your condition, your dad Himesh, my brother, my big elder brother, and your mama Helen, they recently did a fundraising trip, right, to Peru. Tell me a bit more about
yeah.
that.
So out of the blue, anyone that knows my dad knows he's the most. He's not very fit, shall we put it that way? He likes to sit on the sofa and watch TV, um, like the rest of the family does.
Sounds like Dada.
But yeah, he just decided one night that he's going to the Machu Picchu Inca Trail, whatever you want to call it. All of us were in shock, to be fair. But
I mean, your dad's got asthma, so that must have been a
yeah,
real,
yes,
real tough decision to do that.
yeah. I mean, we were all like, "Are you sure?" And he was like, "Yeah, I'm going to do it." And we are like, "Fair enough." And then, like I said to him, I was like, "Oh, you might as well do it for charity," and he did.
What was the name of the charity that the
So
funds
we
go
did
to?
it for GBG Knights, which is under the charity of Goals Beyond Grass, um, which is based in Gloucester.
And how will that money
And
get used? The charity.
so the money will go to the Powerchair team, GBG Knights, obviously, and that money will get used for training, like being able to pay for the hall, um,
How
entering
expen
the club.
How expensive are the power chair wheelchairs?
The power chairs,
Yeah.
I think on average they're about 12 grand.
That's a lot of money. And is that
Yeah.
something that you can get funding for, or you have to self-fund it?
Once you get above 18, you've got absolutely no chance of getting funded.
So,
So we always say if you're below 18, get the funding now.
I bet your dad was jumping for joy that he no longer has to fund your lifestyle with football.
Oh
So
yeah,
back to you. which
literally.
which which brings me to the next thing. So in addition to your football coaching, you have a full-time job. Tell me about that.
Part-time job. But yes, I work in IT for a bathroom company. Uh, yeah.
So you spend half the day basically saying, have you switched it on, switched it off, right?
Oh, it's what I get paid to say. Um, I did that today, to be fair.
Do you enjoy it?
Yeah, it is good fun. We've got a
Got a good
nice
little
little
team that you
team.
work with?
Yeah, good little team. Uh, we're taking on a lot more, so it's good. A
Good.
lot of fun. I've been doing it for what, 3 years now, I think? Since I was
Fantastic.
eight, no, since I was 18. Oh, 4 years nearly. Yeah.
Let's talk about how you got into football. I mean, you spoke about, when you were young at primary school. When did the football come in?
So I want to say I was 6 years old. One of the occupational therapists that came to see me at school. So they must have seen me in a PE lesson or something and saw that I enjoyed doing sports. And then told my mum and me, why don't you go to this? That was Powerchair football in Watford. And then I went, loved it. But back then you had to buy your chair before you could play. Then obviously I had to go through all the fundraising avenues to get the chair. Me being 6 years old, completely forgot about it. My chair arrived when I was 8. So you can imagine the 2 year wait of that. Then I went back and then never looked back, I guess. I've been playing ever since.
And who basically takes you to all these games and how far are they?
Mainly dad and mum take me everywhere.
So
Um,
every weekend you're basically got a match on virtually.
well, every weekend is virtually training.
Yeah,
Matches are 12 times a year, just they're
yeah,
over a whole weekend.
yeah.
Um, but every week to Oxford is where we train. It used to be in Cheltenham, so that was even further. And then matches are in Nottingham or Birmingham. If you've got a cup game, then you have to go to wherever the cup game is.
And where do you think you get the love of football from?
I'll be honest, I ain't got a clue.
Oh,
I
your
remember
dad was a very
watching.
good footballer. Do you think it's genetic?
Yeah, it must be because I remember watching Arsenal Barcelona when Arsene Wenger said Messi was the best player he's ever seen. And I remember watching that Barcelona team, and I was like, I liked football, and like that was it. I just think I was like, yeah, I like football now.
And you don't support a particular team, do you?
No, not really. If people ask me, I say Watford because I can't be bothered to explain it, but I don't
It's probably
really.
the most local team to us, isn't it?
Yeah,
Really.
exactly. Yeah.
And how does it make you feel when you score a goal? Describe that feeling.
I'll be honest, the rush of adrenaline normally takes over. So you normally scream, like whatever you scream. Um, there's no better feeling really, but I've been playing for that many years that like when you score, you've got to keep everyone calm because Powerchair's quite quick turnaround. It's not like the running game where like you've got about 100 meters to run before you get to the goal. You've got half a basketball court.
Wow. And
So
and it's a proper league, isn't it? I mean, you
yeah,
were sold to another team, weren't you? From what I remember, or
you
transferred.
don't get sold. The players are because it's still grassroots. It's classed as grassroots. It's not, but it's classed as that. The players have the final decision on where they go. So sometimes you want a new challenge, so you'll go to a different team. We see a lot of that especially after lockdown. People just want to play. Because when we had that 2 year spell of not being able to play, we were like, all we care about now is playing football. So
Yeah. Now, tell me about kind of accessibility in terms of kind of the various offshore sites in the UK. How do you find them when you visit them?
we'll go with the Opera one first.
Yeah, you can go with the offshore centre. Yeah,
Oslo
fine.
Centre.
Yep.
That's fine. I mean, the whole upstairs is good. I didn't know there was a lift on the inside until recently. So I used that the other day I went there. That was good. I don't have to go outside and around the back and the long way around.
Yeah.
Um,
And they've also got a lift at the Derasa as well, haven't they? I don't know if you've been on that.
I went on it years ago and it stopped working whilst I was on it. So I never went on it since.
I think they fixed that. So
Yeah, they might
next time
have.
you're there, you can explore it.
Yeah.
And have you been to any other offshore sites like Hector?
I've been to Ector Centre. That's nice and easy to get in.
It's Sorry?
That's really easy to get in.
Really easy to get in. Good.
Yeah. No
Good.
worries about that one.
Good. Is there anything you think they could improve? Is there anything that you think they could improve, especially for when you were younger? I mean, what was it like kind of going to these kind of community events in a
I
wheelchair?
mean, automatic doors are always a good thing to have. Yeah, or a button to press to open the door. Do you know what I mean? Hasn't got to be censored. The disabled toilet could do with being a bit bigger at the offshore centre. It's a bit cramped in there. There's not ever like the chairs that they base it off are normally manual wheelchairs. I mean, you've seen my electric chair; it's a lot bigger than a manual wheelchair.
Yep.
So, yeah, a bit bigger gives me a bit more space to do.
And in terms of events, what kind of events do you think they should put on for young children to get them kind of encourage them to come to the community events and things like that? Is there anything in particular that you think they should do?
Young disabled children, or just young children in general?
Well, yeah, in terms of young disabled children.
I mean, yeah, they could definitely have some disabled sports going on there. I mean, the condition I have runs quite a lot in the offshore community. There is quite a few people that I know that have it. That are
How many children do you think? Well, how many people do you think, if you were to give it a ballpark number, an approximate number, what would you say?
I think there's at least 9 of us in some group chat that someone made.
Yeah, and you've got an offshore guy who plays football with you, right?
Yeah.
Who you look up to, right? Everyone says that you're a younger version.
No.
You don't look up to him anymore.
No.
What's his name? Let's name
him. Rickon. He's a nice guy, but nah.
Yeah. Good footballer?
Nah, he's all right. I'm better than him, but he's all right.
Oh, brilliant. So listen, I've got one last question for you. What advice would you give to people in a wheelchair or kind of with a disability about playing sports? Why should they play sports?
I mean, you might not. They don't have to play sport. Everyone has something that they enjoy, and it's about pushing yourself towards that. Especially when you're disabled. The world isn't really made for being disabled, if you know what I mean. Like, I mean, round here in Potter's Bar, not much stuff is accessible. You can attest to that. Even the new shops that open have a massive step to get in or whatever. So like, find what you enjoy. Some people enjoy the arts and crafty stuff. There's loads of disabled things for that. Some people enjoy the social aspect. So the sports are good for that because you get the social aspect out of it. As well as the competitive side. Some people enjoy playing video games. I mean, I do both. I play video games and sports.
You've also got a YouTube channel where you comment on football, right?
Yeah, so I upload the highlights for our team after all of our games. I'm lucky enough not to do the editing. One of the other boys in the team does that, because that is a lot of effort. But
you're like the Gary Lineker of the power wheelchair.
Oh yeah, I make random sounds when I'm doing commentary. Yeah.
So listen, Kai, I've really enjoyed speaking to you today, and I have to say that nothing's impossible for you. You've proved it. You've got a job, you coach, you're pretty much self-sufficient now. You're going to be driving very soon. Do let me know when you do that, because then I'll make sure I don't drive on the road at the same time. And but look, I think it's been wonderful talking to you, and it's been a good kind of educational interview. So thank you so much for joining us.
And one last thing.
Yep.
Obviously, as a team, we are looking for sponsors.
Yep.
Any businesses, reach out. Any individuals, there's a link somewhere. You'll say where the link is, but yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, look, if you could share that link with me, let's see if we can get some people to put their hands in their pockets and obviously support what you're doing.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you.
Thank you, Kai.
Yes.